Guys, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today's lesson, how can we get the most out of our indoor training and create a model that helps us shoot at our highest level?
You need a shot timer because that which gets measured gets worked on. The Range Tech Timer is the official timer of Active Self-Protection because it is versatile, reliable, feature-rich, and very economical. Check out all it can do at the link below.
Hi guys, Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant, Active Self-Protection Extra, and you're here for Suck Less Saturday. I imagine a lot of us are stuck inside. Now, I don't know when you're going to see this video, but this is right before Christmas, and we're having a blizzard come in, and a lot of you are in, dangerous weather, so you can't be outside training. So I wanted to give you something to train indoors, and actually, it's actually cold here in Georgia, and raining as always. And tomorrow is going to be, wind chill is -10, so it's not a good time to be outside shooting guns. And you may be stuck inside for quite a while during winter, so we have to adjust our training program. And this is the way that I train. It helps me immensely, okay? And I hope it'll help you. I've talked about getting different target sizes. As you can see behind me, I have 3 USPSA targets that look like they're further away, but they're actually just different sizes. Now, you could simply draw these up yourself, all right? Or you could get circles, or you could go to the Ben Stoeger Pro Shop and order these, whatever you want to do. Nice thing about these is they actually have the laser etching inside of them. So let me grab one so you can see. Okay, so the scoring zones are clear there. I can see them a bit of distance, but they're not so bold that they really, that they draw the eye. And that's the problem with a lot of targets because, the aiming process, we have to do the geometry of between the shoulders and the center of the head, and that will give us the alpha zone right here. This is a bit of an optical illusion, okay? But that's what distance is. And if you want to be a great shooter, what you have to learn to do is shoot targets according to the size of the target. Nothing else. Don't worry about the distance. With pistols, we have so little offset and rise and fall. If I have a 10-yard zero, it's going to hit roughly just a little bit after 60 yards again. So there's really not much climb or dip to that bullet, okay? And your bad habits are bigger than probably the offset or the max ord is on your ammo. So what we got to do is learn to apply a pace that's driven by what we're seeing and how the sight's behaving by what we're feeling. So behind me, I have 3 targets. All right, and this is one of my favorite drills in the world. My friend Tim Herron calls it throttle control. It can be called changing gears. Doesn't matter. It's just a name. But what I'm going to do is shoot 3 targets that look like they're getting further away from me. And each one is going to require a bit more of what I need to see. All right, so let me back up here for just a second. So this big guy, he's pretty lenient. All right, in here I have no more than about 10 feet. All right, so I'm going to see the dot or the front sight clearly. There's going to be enough space. So I can shoot at a higher pace here because it's got a bigger tolerance for error. Now the medium-sized guy, he's going to require me to pay attention because there's less margin for error, there's less target, and I've got to make sure it's in there. And I've got to be very binary about my shot calling. If I believe it to be a miss, then I need to make it up. Okay. And then this little guy, if you're using iron sights, they're going to cover up all of them. Okay. So you're only going to be able to see the top portion. If you're using a red dot, you've got to be honest and you got to say it was clearly in the center of that target, because even at this distance, that dot covers up most of the alpha box and you'll see it dance around. I'm always going to be strict on my shot calling on this. If I have any doubt, then we'll call it a miss. Any doubt is a miss, all right? That keeps you honest so you don't start going. I'm going to set a par time for this. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to fire 2 on the first one, 2 on the second one, 2 on the back one, okay? And I get to see what my par is. So maybe I set my par for 6 seconds, and if I make that easily, then I drop it to 5 seconds, and then you'll find your range in there where you can't do it. Then I want you to change the order. I want you to draw to the smallest target and shoot your way forward. When you get good at that and you get a par for that, I want you to draw to the middle target and then maybe go front, back. And then draw to the middle target, go back, front. You're learning to transition from targets and give them the justice that they're due, and your pacing should be very similar. Now, we're going to see a little bit of a difference between drawing to a big target and a small target, but I suggest no more than 0.2 to 0.3. And then you practice that and try to keep that in your par times, all right? So I get to 4 seconds, and then I've got to draw to the back target first, and it's a 4-2. I'm not going to worry about that too much. But I'm going to practice the optical illusion that it's further away than it is. I'm I'm going to practice really being strict on my shot calling. Did I see what I thought I saw? Am I paying attention? The dot or the front sight is always going to be in motion, so you may not be able to click the trigger each time. I just tap it each time because it actually going off is not a big deal. Or you could use a SIRT pistol, okay? Or you can just press the trigger with my HK. I can continue pressing the trigger after that happens. And what I'm doing is watching how much the sight moves as I move my finger, how good my grip is, and what my draw is. And I got to tell you, man, as a defensive shooter, this is really important. And once I get really good at this, and I want to make it a little harder, I'm stuck inside and I've been shooting this and I'm really starting to excel, add a reload in the middle of it. Not because reloads are important, because they add complexity to this. So draw and fire 2 on each, and then do a reload and fire 2 on each. You'll be surprised at how hard that is. This is like an ascending or descending El Presidente or Vice Presidente, because we don't have a turn. And once you get good at that, you can add more to it. You could take a step, or you could turn. You could add movement to it. You could put a piece of cover here so you have to shoot around it. And when you're stuck inside, you can make practice very interesting because there's a lot of things to practice in here. You could shoot it one-handed. You could shoot support hand only. It's a great drill, but it teaches you to have different paces. And one of the problems I see all the time in class is people only have one pace. I often see accuracy first shooters shoot tiny targets faster than they do big targets. That's nuts. That's crazy. Shouldn't be able to do that. But what it means is you're taking the same amount of time on the targets, okay? And you can't clearly define your goals, so you need the target to be ultimately small so you'll apply your basics, all right? But I also see speed shooters do the absolute opposite of insanity, the same insanity with this, where they shoot every target at the same pace, and it doesn't work out. You've got to modulate your pace according to the size of the target, and that's what you see and you feel as you're doing it, okay? Remember, practice this. Set up some targets. You just draw circles on a piece of paper. Your eye will see it as the same. And here's the great thing about this. If you're shooting a red dot, this is going to cause you to be target focused. I don't see a lot of red dot shooters that are truly target focused. If you see that head dropping down and the eyes narrowing, they're accommodating the dots. So they're shooting dot focused. And that leads to a very particular pattern on the target of almost a circle where the center is safe, because now you're trying to steady the dot, but you're not seeing it clearly in the back of the target. Your motion leads it astray. I hope that helps you guys. It's a great little training drill. It's easy to set up. You don't need a lot of distance, but you do need different sized targets. And then you can add some complexity to it. You can just do it from the draw. You can add a reload. You can add a turn. You can add movement. You can put cover in the way. And man, when you get to that level, you're going to feel really good about shooting. And if you can get to the indoor range, or you get a nice day and you can go shoot, then you can confirm this and see if it works. Now, if you can't set up different range targets in reality, then just use the same drill and see how well you shoot each one. Okay, guys, hope that helps you out a lot. Excited to be here on Saturdays helping you guys. I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. And as always, measure, refine, and perform.